Welcome Pine Valley Pumas. All right, this is our Friday workout. We're gonna do a little bit of a warm up, we're gonna do a bit of a stretch, and then we're doing a 10-minute yoga routine. I say 10-minute with air quotes because it's more like 15 minutes. It could take us a little bit longer than that, but it's meant to be a pretty fast moving yoga routine. All right, if we're ready to sweat, let's go ahead and start shaking it out. Just kind of flop your arms and legs around, just do little kicks with your legs. Just kind of get them moving, shake your arms out like a fighter getting ready to go into a ring. Just get everything kind of loose. Let it just flop around as you kind of shake them out. Just doing some shakers. All right, get that blood flowing a little bit. All right, let's turn that into some huggers. I like these huggers. Number one, it's good to just get a hug. Right? Number two, this kind of stretches the chest when you go back, stretches the shoulders and the back when you go forwards. Really gets the shoulders loosened up. And we get hugs. All right. So you're alternating left arm high, right arm high, left arm high, right arm high. All right, let's do some reachers. We're just putting one foot out in front of the other, and we're gonna reach, trying to put the back of our hand to the wall behind us. That's the inhale. Now we're gonna exhale and slightly lean forward as we try to press our palms towards the ceiling. Try to synchronize the breath with the move. Whichever foot forward feels comfortable. I like one foot in front of the other. These are called reachers. So really stretch on the inhale. Lean over slightly. And try to raise those palms to the ceiling on this one. All right. Let's do some arm circles. I've got my left foot out in front of me and I'm doing forward rotations with my right arm. Just big circles. Really get that shoulder, neck, and arm area loosened up. Shoot for about 8 to 10 rotations in each direction. So let's go ahead and go backwards. Let's reverse that. Big arm circles backwards with the right arm. All right, I'm gonna put my right foot forward so I can do big circles with my left this time. So we're switching over to the left. Again, about 8 to 10 rotations is about what you need. All right, let's reverse that. Backwards with the left arm. All right, good, we got those arm circles. Next, we're gonna do burpees with low kicks. You guys have seen a burpee before. It just looks like this. Down to the floor, feet back into a plank position, jump your feet back in, standing up. That's a regular burpee. We're gonna add a little bit of a kick at the end. It's not a high kick, you're just going about waist high. It's not a fast kick, it's not a powerful kick. It's just meant to get your legs up and moving a little bit extra. So we're gonna do about 8 to 10 reps of that. Let's call it 9. All right, ready? On my go. Go. Hands down, feet back into plank position. Jump them back to your hands, stand up, kick left, kick right. Hands down, feet back, jump them back to your hands, stand up, small kicks. That's 2. And that's 3. Hands down, jump back to plank position, jump your hands back in, stand up, and small kicks. That's 4. And that's 5. Jump back to plank, jump your hands back in, stand up, kick, kick. That's 6. Standing, low kicks. That's 7. Let's do 2 more. In plank, jump your hands back in, stand up, low kick, low kick. And last one, low kick, low kick. All right, so those are burpees with low kicks. All right, next we're gonna do something I call up and over. So up and over can be done fast and aerobically, but we're gonna do it a little slower. All you're doing, right leg up, step on the outside of your left, back up, and over. Left foot up, step on the outside of your right, back over. We're going to do it about this speed. We can speed it up in the future, but for now, let's do it about that speed. Let's do 10 reps. Ready? I'm going to have my hands up for balance. I recommend that for you as well. Begin. 1, 2, 3. Should be getting your knee up above your waist. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, those are called up and overs. We're doing them real slow this time. In the future, we might speed those up to get a little bit more cardio workout. Okay, next we have the squat X. So, why do we call it an X? Why do we call it a squat X? It incorporates a squat, and when we come up, we're going to take the X position, kind of like we're doing a jumping jack almost, all right? So your feet should be just outside your hips, toes pointed out at an angle so that they would come together at kind of a 90 degree. And here's the technique. Watch it a couple times with me, and then we'll do it as a class. So you're going to go down, touch the floor, up into an X. That's 1, 2. All right? Try to follow along. Let's do 10 reps. Get comfortable. Getting feet outside the hips, toes pointed out. Begin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Notice that I was watching you the entire time. I'm looking straight ahead. I'm not leaning over at the waist. All the bending is happening right here. My back stays straight and straight up. All right, that is called squat X. All right, we did some arm circles for flexibility. Now we're going to do a power arm circle for strength. So it looks like this. Arms are out to the side. I got one foot in front of the other. That's comfortable for me. Do what works for you. And I'm just rotating. Small circles forward. Then we'll reverse and go small circles back. All right? This is intense. We're going to go for a little while. Make sure these are really getting warmed up. Here we go. On my go. 3, 2, 1. Forward circles. These aren't big circles like we did before. Small, tight circles. And again, we're going to be here a little while. You're going to notice that they really, really start to burn. Feel the burn. Love the burn. All right. Still rotating forward. Just when you feel like, oh, that's starting to burn and feel good. Let's go backwards. Let's rotate them backwards. Don't put them down. Don't run from the pain. Feel the pain. It's a great shoulder strengthening exercise. Really, really warms up the shoulders. Okay, let's shake those out. Whew. That'll really get them fired up. We'll go longer in the future, but for right now, I think that's a good little starter. You can really get a good burn on those. Okay. Next up, we're going to start into our stretch portion, and we're going to start that with some neck rolls. So all we're going to, this is not sushi, okay? That's not what I mean. There's no neck roll in sushi. What we're doing is we're dropping our chin to our chest, rolling our head to the side. I'm starting on my left side. And as I do that, I'm reaching for the floor with my fingers. That keeps me from shrugging. So I want to keep my shoulders down and relaxed. It helps to actually stretch more. If you kind of reach down towards the floor, get a good stretch on the right side of your neck. Now, chin to chest, roll it over to the right side, and we're just listening in. Right ear to left shoulder. See what your shoulder's telling you. Should be a nice stretch on the left side this time. Chin to chest, roll it over. Chin to chest and roll it over. That's two. Let's do one more on each side. Chin to chest, rolling back to the left. And last time, chin to chest. Let's go to the right side. Now when you come out of this, let's go chin to chest, and then just roll your neck up straight to avoid any pinches or injuries. All right, those are our neck rolls. Next, we're going to do the chest stretch. So, what we're doing here is basically getting a little dip down, reaching up on the inhale, and then I'm pushing the back of my hands and my elbows towards the wall behind me to really open up and stretch my chest, all right? You guys try it with me now that you've seen it. Big breath and big stretch, like a big morning stretch. Again. Just pressing the back of my hand and my elbows towards the wall behind me to stretch out the chest. One more time. Chest stretch. All right, nice. Next up, we're doing a forward bend. So, again, with our feet just outside of our shoulders, I want us to reach up towards the ceiling. Inhale. This time we're going to lean straight over forward. Our back is flat, our arms are out in front, our head is looking ahead until we can't anymore, and then it comes down and we collapse with our fingers to the floor. If this is too much for you, feel free to grab here, or here, or here, but you want to challenge yourself, all right? You want to be slightly outside your comfort zone, so when you can, get your fingers down on the floor, get your palms down on the floor, whatever's comfortable for you, but you should be just outside of your comfort zone to get a good stretch. That's how you know it's working. You want to push it just a little bit, but if it hurts, you back off and you breathe through it. Just doing a toe toucher. All right, when we come out of this, I want you to slightly bend your knees and then roll up one vertebrae at a time to really stretch out and elongate your spine. All right, that was our toe touchers. Okay, next we're going to do side lunge, groin stretch. We've seen this one before as well. I'm going to start by going to the right hand side. So I'm bending my right leg, keeping my left leg straight. My right elbow's on my right knee for support. Left hand is down on the ground for balance. And I'm just leaning to my right to get a good stretch on the inside of my left leg. All right, now let's go ahead and walk our hands over to the other side. Bend our left leg, straighten the right. Once again, let's walk our hands over back to the right-hand side one more time. Now this time, I'm actually going to put both hands on the ground, and my right elbow is going into my right knee to push back on it a little bit more, just to get a little more stretch into the groin area. All right, last time, let's walk our hands back to the left side. And the entire time, we're remembering to breathe. We're going to work hard today. It makes it even harder if you hold your breath, so don't. All right, let's walk back to center. Walk both hands to center. Knees are slightly bent. And once again, I'm just rolling up. Slowly rolling up. All right. Next up, we have our arm stretches. We're going to do two different versions of that arm stretch, all right? The first one, we're just taking our arm out in front, bringing it across our neck to where your bicep is in your neck, and you put the other arm out here, lock on your elbow, and pull that in. You should get a nice stretch right here on your shoulder. All right, release that arm. And we're going to go the right arm across, lock it with your left, and pull. Again, you should be just outside your comfort zone, but if it hurts, back off a little bit. I'm going to do this to where you're loosening your muscles, not tearing them. Now we're gonna go left arm straight up, bend it behind you like you're scratching your back, and grab that left elbow with your right hand and pull to get a good stretch here and down your side. And hold. And release. And right arm straight up, scratch your back. Grab that right elbow with your left hand and pull. Now my right arm, this is a lot harder to do than with my left. I had surgery on this right shoulder, so again, listen to your body. If it's saying back off or stop, listen to that, all right? Otherwise, give it a try. Try to push yourself to become a little more flexible. Okay, next up, we're gonna do a groin and Achilles stretch. So what we're gonna do is once again get our feet to where our heels and our ankles are just maybe outside of our hips and our toes are pointed out to 45-degree angles, all right? And what we're gonna do is squat down just like we did on the squat X, but we're gonna sit in that squat where we push back on our knees to stretch our groin, and then we just gently rock back and forth to stretch out our Achilles tendon. This also stretches the calves a little bit. Make sure that your heels stay on the ground. You don't want them coming up off the ground. And you're rocking back and forth to stretch out that Achilles tendon and your groin. We're multitasking, stretching two things at once. Okay, hands to the floor. Let's straighten our legs out. Leave the knees slightly bent as you roll up. Okay. Next up, let's do a quad stretch. Let's make sure we stretch out the front of our legs. We're going to be working them hard today, so this is important. All right, just to show you the form, I'm kicking a foot up behind me, grabbing it with my hand. I'm keeping this arm out to the side for balance, and I'm pulling. I'm just pulling that foot towards my butt. My knees are lined up. They're not flared out to the side. Arms out for balance. If you need to hold on to something, it's more important that you get the stretch than worry about the balance. But if you can, just balance yourself this way. Otherwise, grab a hold of something to balance yourself. And release. And now we'll switch sides. Kick that foot up. All right, knees lined up. Foot as close to your butt as you can get, and just pull. Should feel a nice stretch down the front of your leg here. And release. All right, and finally, we're gonna do a glute stretch. We've done a couple different versions of this already, but I'm gonna show you a new one, and then I'm gonna leave it up to you which version you like best. This one is really unique because it makes you focus on not only your stretching and flexibility, but your strength and balance. So what we do is we take one foot and cross it over to the other leg. So my right foot is on my left knee, and I'm squatting down, keeping my chest and head up, but I squat down to feel a big stretch right here. Again, this is difficult if you're doing it on balance. If you need to hold on to something for balance, you can do that. Otherwise, this is great for strength and stability, as well as a good stretch. All right. So you've seen my demo, but if that doesn't work for you, if that's too difficult, you can always do this one. Just grab your knee and pull. Grab your knee and pull. You can alternate that, hold it as long as you need to in between. Or there's that other method that we saw last week, which is flat on your back, one foot over the other, reaching through and grabbing on the outside of the knee and laying back to pull. This is very much like the standing version, but a lot more relaxed, obviously. Switch. Whatever method you're doing, just make sure you're getting a good stretch. And release. All right. Our bodies should be warm. Our bodies should be stretched. Now, the hard work begins. All right. This is the famous 10-minute yoga routine that you've been hearing about for some time. Today is the day we're going to make it happen. Okay, so I'm going to stand sideways so you can kind of see what I'm doing here. And we're going to start out with something called reach to the heavens. So, with my feet relatively close together, they're not spread out at all, I'm just going to reach towards the sky and inhale. Exhale as I bring my arms down into prayer stance. And again. Try to synchronize the breath with the movements. All right, this time we're going to reach up on the inhale. But on the way down, we're going to do what's called the swan dive. So arms out to the side, head and chest up, back is flat, and we're doing like a dive in the pool. Keep it up until you can't anymore, and then collapse forward, putting your hands on the ground or on your ankles or your shins or whatever comfortable for you. Okay, so that's called swan dive. Here's the reverse swan dive. Arms out to the side, lead with your head up. All right, let's do swan dive one more time. And collapse forward when you can't keep your head up anymore. Basically doing a toe toucher here with your feet close together. From here, I want us to jump our feet back into a plank position. So I'm in plank position here, and now I'm going to do a push-up and go into upward dog. So down into push-up, up to upward dog. The only thing touching the ground is my hands and the top of my feet. My knees are not on the floor. My hips are not on the floor. Just my hands and the tops of my feet. Now we'll come back to plank position. You can do a push-up here or not, whatever works for you. I like to. So you do a push-up, and then you go to downward dog. This is called downward dog. From here, okay, well, the form on downward dog, hopefully I'm doing good form, but my legs are straight, my back is straight, my arms are straight, and my biceps are right next to my ears. Only thing that's bent is me at the waist. Now I'm going to take my right foot, and I'm going to kick it up into the air as high as I can, and then swing it forward. All right? You might get stuck, that's okay. Grab it, bring it up here to where it's right under your eyes, okay? Now you're coming up onto your fingertips here. You're not supporting your weight with your fingertips. You're supporting your weight with your leg and your core. But your fingertips are touching the ground. This is called runner's pose. This is difficult. If it's too hard, come out of it a little bit. You can get a little bit more up. But as you get stronger, get down, get low. Make those legs work. Runner's pose. Okay. We're going to put our hands flat back on the floor, kick that foot back with the other. We're back in plank position. We're doing what's called a vinyasa when we do our push-up to upward dog. Again, tops of your feet and hands touching. We go back to plank position, do a push-up, downward dog. This time I'm going to float my left foot into the sky and kick it. All right, and come up into runner's pose. This time, left foot forward. And hold, and breathe. Good posture. Don't fight it. Don't run from it. This is going to be difficult. Embrace it. All right, runner's pose. Let's go ahead and put our hands back to the floor. Kick that foot back with the other. Do your vinyasa. Push up into upward dog. Back to plank. Push up. Downward dog. Now let's float that right foot into the sky, kick it through, come back up into runner's pose. From here, we're going to go to a pose called Warrior One. So we're just touching the ground with our fingertips. We're just going to bring our arms up and hold them right over our head. Warrior One. And hold. Again, if this is difficult, come out of it a little bit. That's okay. But try to get as low as you can. Okay. From here, back to runner's pose briefly. Now hands on the floor. Kick that foot back with the other. Do your vinyasa. Upward dog. Back to plank. Do a push-up. Downward dog. I'm floating my left foot into the sky this time. This is my left. Kicking it through. Back to runner's pose. Fingertips touching the ground. Come up to warrior one. And we're breathing. Getting warm now. All right. Back down to runner's pose briefly. Hands on the floor, feet back together in plank position. Do your vinyasa. Upward dog. Back to plank and downward dog. All right, right foot up in the air, swing it through. We're back in runner's pose. Now, I want you to take the foot that's out back, in this case it's my left, and you're going to rotate it to put it flat on the ground. So now, my heel and my toes are touching. I'm going to come up into warrior one. Because my foot is like that, it makes me want to turn. Fight that and stay facing forward. And it's warrior one. Now we're going to go into warrior two by just opening up. Arms straight out front, straight behind you, and opening up the chest. Warrior two. All right, back to warrior one. Back to runner's pose. You'll have to come up off your foot a little bit. You'll have to get back on your toes for this. Palms down, jump back, do your vinyasa. Upward dog. Plank position. I like to do a push-up. Downward dog. Left foot into the sky, swing it through. We're back in runner's pose, left foot forward. Go ahead and put that back foot down flat and come up into warrior one. Now we're in warrior two. Back to warrior one. Back to runner's pose. Hands on the floor. Put that foot back where you found it. And now do your vinyasa. Upward dog. Back to plank. Push up. Downward dog. All right. Right foot is going to the sky. Swing it through. We're in runner's pose temporarily. Put that back foot flat on the ground. Come up to warrior one. Open up to warrior two. And now we're going to do reverse warrior. Drop the back hand on your leg for support. Your right hand is into the sky. And you're looking up at your right hand. Back to warrior two. Warrior one. Runner's pose. Hands down. Kick that foot back with the other. Do your vinyasa. Upward dog. Back to plank. Do a push-up. Back to downward dog. This time, left foot into the sky, swing it through. We're back in runner's pose. Put that back foot down flat and come up to warrior one. Now open up to warrior two. And reverse warrior. Don't forget to breathe here. Back to warrior two. Back to warrior one. Runner's pose. Hands down on the floor, keep that foot back. Do your vinyasa. Go to upward dog. Back to plank, do a push-up. Downward dog. From here, jump or step both of your feet into your hands with your knees slightly bent. Straighten your legs out as best you can. And now reverse swan dive. Couple more breaths. And you've just completed 10-minute yoga. Nice job, guys. I hope you were able to follow along and participate. I hope you're able to modify as needed. If you have questions about modifications, you can always email those, make a note in Google Classroom, or talk to me during class when we see each other next. Thank you very much, Pumas. Have yourselves a lovely day, and we'll see you on the flip side.